What up guys, Armand here, really excited to be back. I've taken a bit of a break from YouTube. I got a fancy new microphone, it's a Blue Yeti mic. Looks like a real microphone, I look like I'm a real YouTuber now. I also figured out how to shoot 4K video with my iPhone, so I'm just really excited. I feel like I have all this upgraded tech, so I'm gonna try to come out with way more videos. In this one, I wanna talk about how long a recruiter spends looking at your resume and what are the key components that they look at before they move on to the next one. So stay tuned, really excited for this video. So for this video, I'd like to talk about a study that was done by the Ladders a few years ago that follows 30 professional recruiters over the course of 10 weeks and using state-of-the-art eye tracking technology, which basically detects where the recruiters are looking at on the resume, where their eyes are darting to, how long they spend looking at each section of the resume, and they wanted to answer other questions like what is the most important part of the resume that recruiters spend the most amount of time looking at. This study also looked to address if a professionally written resume done by a professional is more appealing to a recruiter than a resume that was just written by the candidate themselves. And the study also takes a look at how recruiters interact with online profiles and what is the best type of online profile to have. So first things first, it'll come as no surprise to anybody, having an organized layout of your resume that follows a clear hierarchical structure that is visually more appealing, and it makes it easier for the recruiter to know if you are a good fit for the job or not before moving on to reading the next resume. The study uses a thing called a Likert scale, which is on a scale of 1 to 7 how well the resume stands out to the recruiter. So using the Likert scale, the candidates that wrote the resumes themselves scored a 3.9. However, if they went out and had it rewritten by a professional, that score jumped up to a 6.2, showing that a professionally written resume does get the attention of the recruiter a lot better and may actually help your chances of landing that initial interview. Professionally written resumes also obviously scored better on the overall organizational structure of the resume, and there was a more consistent and clear hierarchy, so it just made it easier for the recruiter to instantly tell if this candidate would be a good fit for the job or not. So my advice and my takeaway from this is that if you're struggling to write your resume and if you feel like your resume doesn't have a clear structure and you're not too sure where to go, just get some help, seek professional resume writing advice. It will really make a huge impact. Professional resumes were much less cluttered, they had less data, but they had more meaningful data. So the overall structure of a professional resume was just much more to the point than a resume that was written by the candidate themselves, helping the recruiter to instantly know if that person was a good fit for the job much quicker. Now, the second thing the study looked at regarding online profiles, they actually found that there's too much visuals, there's too much information. You know, on an online profile like LinkedIn, you'll have a photo of yourself, you'll have photos of the logos of the companies that you've worked at in the past, and all this visually distracting information tends to actually make it more of make it difficult for the recruiter. It makes it more of a nuisance to read an online profile than something as clear and consistent as a resume. So I've actually spoken to a few people who do just use their LinkedIn, they use their LinkedIn page as their resume. My takeaway from this and my advice would be to those people to actually create your own resume and have it separate from your online profile. Always send in a resume when you apply for a position, just because it makes it that much easier for the recruiter or the hiring manager to understand if you are a good fit for the position or not. The easier you make it on the recruiter or the hiring manager, the better. And finally, the third key metric that they studied was how long a recruiter looks at a resume. So self-reported surveys done by recruiters actually said that recruiters spend 4 to 5 minutes per resume, which is just...
Ain't nobody got time for that!
So the revelation of the study was that recruiters, during this 10-week period where they've studied and followed 30 different recruiters using this eye tracking technology, they found that recruiters actually spend 6 seconds on average per resume before moving on to the next one. They were looking at 6 key pieces of information 80% of the time. Those are your name, the current company you work for, the previous company you work for, how long you were with your current company, how long you were with your previous company, and your education. Those 6 key things took about 80% of their eye tracking on the resume. So make sure those stand out, make sure those are visible and well articulated, and they're very clear. Beyond these 6 data points, recruiters did little more than just check to see that the candidate had the right skills. So it was more of a skill matching after these 6 key things. So guys, this was a fantastic study. I really enjoyed reading it. I'm posting the study done by the Ladders in the summary, so if you want to take a look at it, check it out. It's really cool, really interesting. They got some visuals on there as well. where the recruiter's eyes are darting to on the different pages. It was really cool and exciting to read. Very awesome study that was done. So I'm hoping that this helps more of you come out with a really awesome resume that's very clear and concise and just hits the nail on the head for every job that you apply for, increasing your chances of getting that interview and ultimately landing your dream job. I'm really hoping this has been an awesome and educational video. Really exciting for me to get back on YouTube and shoot more videos. You can expect much more of these going forward, much more videos on recruiting, as well as I want to branch off a little bit, talk more about give some financial advice, and talk a little bit about how I save thousands of dollars a year just by waiting until things go on sale and buying them online, as opposed to going into a mall or a shopping center and spending my money in the retail store. Thanks for watching, guys.